Hi everybody, and welcome to another YouTube video, Tim's Tech Corner. Today we are going to be dealing with the Hype Mini Bluetooth keyboard. It is a mini Bluetooth keyboard that is BT 3.0, and it comes with several options in the box, such as the USB 2.0 cable, a mini CD which contains some drivers and some files used for it, and an instruction book. What we see here on top is my iPod Touch that's running a clock app, and right underneath it is the keyboard. I had the iPod Touch on top of it so that you can see the size. Here is a comparison of it. As you can see, it is about the same size as the iPod Touch, about the same size as an iPhone 4. This little keyboard is for Bluetooth enabled devices. The box looks like this, and on the back it tells you some of the features of the particular device, tells you what comes with it, gives you some of the specifications, which is a 560-hour standby time, 45-hour usage time on this, so the battery life on this is pretty good. Now, it's a good little keyboard for being mobile. As you can see, it is about the size of a smartphone. It is a little bit smaller than my HTC Thunderbolt, and it's about the same size as an iPhone or an iPod Touch. Now, I got this device for use with a HTC Thunderbolt. Ironically, more on that in a little bit. I have successfully paired it with my iPod Touch, my HP touchpad running the Android OS, my Dell laptop for work, and my main PC, which is using a USB to Bluetooth adapter. However, I was not able to get it connected to my HTC Thunderbolt. It does pair, but it never connects, and it turns out that is actually because of the Bluetooth stack that is on an HTC Thunderbolt. So, unfortunately, the main idea of getting this particular keyboard, which is what I was aiming at, was the ability to have the Thunderbolt stay docked and respond to text without having to undock it or lean over and type on the phone while it was docked. Turns out, looks like there's only about 2 mini Bluetooth keyboards right now that work with the Thunderbolt's Bluetooth stack, and they seem to be rather expensive. One of them is called a Freedom Pro, and I forget the name of the second one, but they're pretty much put out by HTC and Motorola themselves. So that plan sucked, but it's worked out in some other ways. For this particular device, I've gotten it paired with my computer and laptop, as I've mentioned. It does work pretty well. The range on it is supposedly about 20 feet, but I've found that it works really well within 5. You go a little bit beyond 5, it has some lag to it a little bit. Now, last night I happened to have it enabled on my main PC, and I was questing on my Guardian Fat Bear in the World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria beta video. And I was using this basically as the mouse in one hand, and I was holding the keyboard in this hand, and I was just hitting my abilities up here, 1 through 0, and occasionally hitting C for the character menu and hitting M for map and everything while I was traveling. While I was playing World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria, I was thinking a good example of this particular keyboard in action on a main PC would be for use with any action RPG like Diablo 3 and games such as that. So today I went ahead and tried it out, and I must say that it works fantastic in Diablo 3. Since I am using my Demon Hunter, a lot of times with a Demon Hunter, pretty much what you're doing is standing in one spot and shooting. So I like to hold the mouse in one hand, hold the keyboard in the other, and hit Shift to do that. And if I have to do other abilities, I will hit 1 for my damage to life, 2 is my Raven, 3 is my Caltrops, 4 is currently my Rapid Fire, And of course you can hit T for the town portal, M for the map, I for inventory, and it works out really well because it allows you to kind of, if you're in the situation where you're playing on a laptop and you've got a wireless mouse or something, it allows you to just kind of lean back and have something in your hand that you can kind of relax with, lean back in the chair and hit some of your abilities off the keyboard. Now, I wouldn't say this would be a particularly good keyboard for an FPS game or a shooter, but for things like World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, any action or MMO type RPG where you have limited items that you're actually picking up off the keyboard, it's worked out pretty well. I wouldn't necessarily go to this in an intense situation, as sometimes you have a little bit of lag. Occasionally, if you haven't used the keyboard in a bit, you will have to hit a few keys in order for the connection to establish again. It's very, very easy to pair with your devices. Basically, there is a little button up here above the 9 and 0, and you hold it down and it puts it into pairing mode, and this blue light over here will light up. And it's in pairing mode. You just tell your PC or your tablet or your phone to scan for devices. You'll pick it up. Now, the instruction book does have a few shortcomings on it. It will tell you that the pairing's easy, and you may have to type a PIN, like 0000 or 1234. However, what it fails to mention, and I had to Google around for this, was that you also have to type the number on the pad as soon as you do it. That was what was happening with my Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt would force me into entering a PIN, and I would do 0000, hit OK, but then I also had to go and hit 0000, enter, over here. They would pair, but again, due to the Bluetooth stack, it wouldn't connect. But for pairing it with the iPod Touch and everything, it worked out that way, and you had to do that. When you're pairing it with a computer or a laptop, you will take the PIN that it says on the screen and you'll type it in on the pen, hit enter, and it will go ahead and sync. The top of the device has a mini USB connector and an on-off switch, and the mini USB is used to charge the device. So there we go. There is a Hype mini Bluetooth keyboard. Pretty handy if you do have a phone that it can work with, since it is basically the size of a phone. You can keep it in your pocket or in a case along with your phone, and you can use it to type out text or type out web addresses if you wanted to browse the web. I would say that a really other good usage for this keyboard is if you had a media PC. If you had a PC hooked up to your main TV and stereo and receiver and everything like that, you could use a keyboard like this, because as you can see, it is smaller than your typical universal remote, and it would be good for, say typing in Netflix on your browser and bringing that up. Now over here I have a wireless keyboard for my work laptop, and you can see the size difference of it there. So this is a wireless keyboard, and that's the mini Bluetooth. The feel of the keyboard is pretty good. They're soft keys. They are pretty responsive. I don't detect any bumps on any of the keys, so if you weren't looking, it would be kind of hard to know where you are in terms of home position. A lot of functions such as print screen, page up, page down, escape, are all accomplished by hitting function, and one of the keys like function X would be escape. Shift, Alt, Control, and Space are on here, backspace, enter, they're all on there. So it's a pretty handy little keyboard. I like it. It's kind of a shame that it doesn't work with my Thunderbolt, which is pretty much the main reason why I wanted to get this keyboard. Unfortunately, I'll have to look into one of the freedoms for that, but it has worked really well with the iPod Touch, my HP touchpad, and even my main computer and my work laptop. And I do like using it for Diablo, as it gets me off the keyboard a little bit, and it has this in my hand now. In extensive firefights that are going to require a lot of movement and multiple ability hitting, probably better to go back to the keyboard, but just some simple questing in WoW and Diablo 3. Pretty handy keyboard. So hope you enjoyed this review, and take a look at it if you've got Bluetooth enabled devices.